Alright, let's go up in that safe. Hope there are more of those. Okay. Alright, so that has 3. Okay.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read. If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still on this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother, if she is still of this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are to be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered. Even if... Sorry, something on my glasses. Even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its contents into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University. Oh my god, please tell me we finally get to go to Miskatonic. The content of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor suffer from your actions. Oh my god, if we get to go to Miskatonic University... Fine. I'm geeking out about this. Like, this game isn't incredible. It's not the greatest game ever made. It might be the best Cthulhu Mythos game so far, but now that they're putting in these little Easter eggs from the Mythos and other Lovecraft stories, it's making my heart very happy. So, much like with a lot of geeks in fandom where something could be bad, but there's a bunch of if something is like not ideal, but there's a bunch of like loving nods to the lore and the fan base, then they can kind of overlook it. If we get to go to Miskatonic University, I'm assuming that's where we'll find the Necronomicon, because that's where, in most of the stories, that's where it's kept. That'll be fucking great and give so many positive points towards this game. Holy crap. Anyway, there's our clue to how to figure out the puzzle. Okay. Oh, is book 1 of Anatomy and Dissection. The least that can be said about this book is that its title is well conceived. The illustrations of human anatomy and dissection methods presented are illustrated in great detail. You have to have a strong heart or the detachment proper to doctors to consult the pages. What is my medical and occultism up to now? Not much. Jeez. One more thing in occultism, I feel like, maybe, and I'll hit professional. Well, I'm already professional, but extra super level 4 professional. I'm still an amateur medicine man. My psychology's poopy. Fine. Rummage. Nothing. Give me that blue bottle.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
Does the bookseller suffer from insomnia?
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Key of Relay file. This key that bears the Elder Sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. I can't talk tonight. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch, whose purpose is to push back the forces of the great old ones, were engraved at its center. Okay, so like, this is way too late that we're getting into the good stuff here. I'm just going to say that. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from his last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. And press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. Boop. What do we got here? A dirigible? Man, if they link this back, rather, if they connect this with At the Mountains of Madness, I'll be goddamn psyched. If we go to Antarctica? Anyway. Oh. Okay, so... Alchemy. Yuck. Let's look at those notes again. No points. Sanity stable. It's good. Good stuff. Good. I like this Algernon Drake guy. I like him. It's good stuff. So, really, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm not sure anyone knows how to pronounce it. But that is, if I remember correctly, that's the sunken city that Cthulhu slumbers in at the ocean, the bottom of the ocean. Cylinder meant to be listened to by using a phonograph. Oh. I didn't realize I found all three of these. I thought the first one was the one that I found at the Spencer Manor. Spencer. That's Resident Evil. Yeah, the place I just left, the big mansion. Okay, let's go listen to him. I'm a dummy poopy head.
And these red rocks, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Okay, that's pretty obvious. He's talking about this.
The chalice of knowledge.
Okay. So something about this is the first number. Maybe the number of certain stones? Let's listen again.
And these red rocks, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to
The
count the rubies.
chalice of knowledge.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's go ahead and do it. Every time we decide on a number, we'll just go and throw it in there. Rotate, okay. 5. Okay, it kept it. Cool. Oh, the second one has something to do with those volumes. I remember that. Oh, excuse me.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Okay, it's a chessboard. So there are 3 of us on the chessboard.
The queen has little protection.
So I'm assuming I'm counting the white pieces and not the queen. So let's try 3. If 3 doesn't work later, then we'll do 4. Okay, last one. I believe this one has something to do with these books, and that's why they appeared after I made progress.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Well, maybe it's just 9. Let's try 9. Hey! Is this it? Is that the Necronomicon? Written by the Mad Arab. Al-Hazred. I hate it when I go to a bookstore and pick up a used book and this happens. It's like, geez, I just want to check the book, you know? Some of these chapter cuts are pretty abrupt. Kind of immersion breaking. One thing that was really cool about that game that I've mentioned a few times, the Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth game from the early 2000s, is that throughout the game, especially towards like the middle to the end, you kind of do this where you're like astrally projected to a different body and different perception, and often it was like an alien creature or like a trans-dimensional creature outside of a human being. And it allowed for, like I was mentioning earlier, that interpretation of what you've read in the stories. And that was always my favorite thing about these games. Not so much because it's kind of cut and dry in some cases what these stories are about. You know, cult worshipping old god that came to Earth well before any life existed, etc. But the descriptions of the places and the creatures are vague enough that anybody could pick it up with an artistic mindset, could pick it up and do something different. Like, Cthulhu isn't really mentioned in detail what he looks like, because that's the whole point of him as a creature, is that looking upon his visage is supposed to turn you crazy and kill you. So there's not supposed to be detail as far as what he looks like. It's just that he's slightly humanoid, he has wings, and a big squid octopus head. And there are so many ways you can interpret that. And when I was looking for thumbnail art for the videos, I came across a bunch of really cool interpretations. A lot of them are kind of the same, like a kind of buff looking green humanoid figure with webbed feet and hands and kind of a pudgy belly for some reason, but then just like a big squid head with tiny wings. I don't like that interpretation. I mean, it's fine as far as like if you're trying to make something that resembles Cthulhu, that's fine. But I saw some where Cthulhu was like more thin, spindly. His arms were really long, and his wings were huge because they would have to be. Otherwise, the wings are pointless. The wings would have to be huge to be able to carry something. If you look at animals in the wild, nothing has tiny wings unless they have a tiny body. The wings have to be proportionate enough to be able to carry the weight. So these very like creepily angelic versions of Cthulhu where he doesn't have the traditional human-like eyes and human-like body and tiny wings. So I'm really interested to see if Cthulhu is mentioned, or rather is featured in this game, what they're going to make him look like. And I hope it's... Well, I mean, they kind of already show you in the title screen, the splash screen, the menu screen, rather. And he has that humanoid shape or whatever. But regardless, I am optimistic.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Oh, okay, I'm playing as Dr. Colden now.
Did you inject him with a tranquilizer?
No, Doctor. Not me, not anyone. Our stock is empty, yet again.
Again? But there was enough for the whole island.
More and more people are suffering from insomnia. We can't refuse to help.
Of course.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Very well. I'll examine him. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body.
I didn't understand much of that.
His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky.
So do these medical determinations, are they determined by my medical skill? Because that would be stupid, seeing as how this is Dr. Colden, not my character. Also, I'm not moving at all. I'm not breathing.
30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth.
Sounds like a medical doctor. I mean, a military doctor, rather.
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
So I'm assuming this is my character. It looked like him, except less of a beard. So I feel like either we're just playing as this character now, or when we looked in the Necronomicon, we astrally leapt into her body. I'm not sure. Let's just keep going.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
His donger.
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
I'm turning into the Cthulhu man.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
You don't?
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Cole,
Truck stop bathroom.
may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Burn.
Just calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients. provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
You're turning him into a monster!
I've seen suction cups on his fingers, his falling body temperature, his dehydration.
His huge donger.
Had I only read the report, you know what I would have concluded, Doctor.
Do I? Tell me anyway. I'm curious.
He's no longer human. These are the attributes of an animal.
Sexy animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
'Cause you're a woman.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
I mean, yeah. But in this time period, they wouldn't necessarily listen to a woman. Stay out of this.
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office. What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep mum.
Later, nurse.
An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects.
So yeah, this is interesting that it looks like the potentially my medical skill is what's determining her reactions, which is strange because she's, like I said, an actual doctor. Oh, that's not a good sign.
This place draws you in and never lets you go.
Obey the rule of health. So yeah, this is a hidey closet. High security unit.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
Who are you talking to, crazy?
Elizabeth? You all right? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning.
Cute.
I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak.
Imagine!
Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, I think I'm starting to see the complaints, even more so, the complaints about the pacing. We just went through some cool stuff that was engaging, the investigation and the Necronomicon thing. Well, it looks like This is another stealth section that the character's gonna wake up because there's a hidey closet and then there's the vent there. But yeah, I mean, I get you've got to add content to your game, but it kind of feels like they didn't know what kind of game they wanted to make.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
Alright, looked at that. Place seems pretty open right now.
Chronic insomnia. Like half the island.
Chronic. This place is pretty open.
Hay fever. What's he doing here?
Is hay fever really bad?
Doctor, please. My chest.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation.
Okay.
Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
I'ma fix all these people because I'm a doctor person. Look at those fucks. Let's go fix everybody. Doctor lady person to the rescue.
A whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
What did you see there?
Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back?
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out.
I'll just sleep a bit more. I'll just...
Okay.
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Okay, so I can check their shit before I talk to them. Got it.
Could this have been avoided?
Irene Sanders' medical file. Autopsy report on Irene Sanders. The autopsy was done by Dr. Fuller. He describes a wound to the right side of the head due to a shot at point-blank range and comes to the conclusion that it was suicide. Oh. Oh.
Mrs. Sanders? Oh, God.
Well, I guess I did it. Like I said, I was planning on pushing her to the edge, but I didn't realize that would mean suicide. Oh well. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of her anyway. I mean, didn't necessarily want her to die. There's some blue stuff. Give it.
She recently came back from the surgical block. She's stable. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney.
He's a magic doctor.
What is the boiler room key doing here? The key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it.
Okay.
The key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it.
Guess I can't take it. This is for what's his face later.
The key to the boiler room.
Alright.
Not where I expected to find it.
So this is mostly for me to gotta like heads up on the whole area before I have to be all sneaky about it later, I guess.
Another insomniac. I should find the cause for such a widespread trouble.
I blame the internet. Damn you, Pornhub.
Intoxication from breathing organic vapors.
That's just a fancy way of saying he's just getting high. 420 blaze it. Having some frame rate issues. My God, this person's invisible. Another one. It's contagious.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination.
Time to examine.
His binds left bloody wounds. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Those basement brutes tied him up too tight, and now he's hurt.
I keep trying to heal his wounds, but he reopens them.
Do you have a diploma as a nurse?
Excuse me?
So take care of this man.
Burn. That may have been a situation where my medical wasn't high enough to be able to determine what the fuck's wrong with this guy. I was just like, well, you a doctor? Just do better. Get good, idiot. This place just seems to keep opening up. Onward and upward, I guess.